Hello, my name is Nagustia. My case is number 33 for A07. My name is number 33 220081. Part 1. What makes a happy life? Answer: that happiness is not caused by external events or things that happen to us, but when we are fully engaged or focused on what we are doing. We are in a state of flow. Number 2. What is the result of Csikszentmihalyi's theory? The answer: that happiness is not caused by the external events or things that happen to us. Number 3. How does Csikszentmihalyi get the theory of flow? Answer: Csikszentmihalyi was inspired by this theory when he noticed how artists work in a studio. They completely lost track of time, don't realize they are hungry or tired, and they can work for hours, even days, without stopping. Number 4. Mention and explain the flow theory. The answer: the theory of flow is that when we are fully engaged or focused on what we are doing, we are in a state of flow. It's like being in a river and the flow of water carries you away. Number 5. Make a note. The answer: positive psychology is like discussing how to make people happier. The question here is how to make life happy. This answer comes from the work of Csikszentmihalyi and flow theory. Csikszentmihalyi put forward the theory that happiness is not caused by external events or things that happen to us. If we want happiness, we have to actively seek it. However, that doesn't mean we have to always look for happiness. Flow theory can be interpreted as when we are fully engaged or focused on what we are doing. We are in a state of flow. Csikszentmihalyi was inspired by this theory when he noticed how artists work in a studio. They completely lost track of time, not realizing that they are hungry or tired, and they can work for hours, even days, without stopping. Part 2. Number 1. What is the distinction between seeds and nuts? The answer: usually the seeds of plants can separate from the fruit, such as when you pierce a watermelon seed. However, in nuts, the outer shell contains seed and fruit, and the two cannot be spared. Number 2. According to the professor, how do botanists define a seed? The answer: botanists define a seed as a part of a flowering plant or tree that will grow into a new plant or tree if buried in the soil and germinates. Number 3. Why does the professor mention kernels? The answer: to highlight the confusion between nuts and seed. Number 4. What is the integument? The answer: like a plant embryo becomes enclosed in a covering called integument. Number 5. Make a note. The answer: many people, including scientists, confuse nuts and seeds. In short, nuts are seeds, but seeds cannot become nuts. The botanists define a seed as a part of a flowering plant or tree that will grow into a new plant or tree if buried in the soil and germinates. An example is an egg cell which becomes an embryo when fertilized by sperm. Sometimes the plant embryo becomes enclosed in a covering called integument. Usually, the seeds of a plant can spread from the fruit, such as when you pierce a watermelon seed. However, in nuts, the outer shell contains seeds and fruit, and the two cannot be separated. One thing nuts and seeds have in common is that they are both highly nutritious. Nuts contain excellent protein, fiber, magnesium, and zinc. It is beneficial for the blood and heart. Meanwhile, whole grains contain vitamin E, which is useful for anti-aging. Nuts and seeds are not only good for humans, but also for wildlife, a fact that is confirmed every autumn with animals such as chipmunks. Chipmunks and jay can be seen busily storing nuts to avoid starvation in the coming winter come. Part 3. In this part, you must retell the story clearly and completely. The answer: one day, there were 3 bears living together in a house in the forest. Namely, there are small bears, medium-sized bears, and very large bears. One day, they made porridge for breakfast. After that, they went to the forest while they waited for the porridge to cool. But when they were in the forest, a little girl came into their house. This little girl had golden curls that fell from her back to her waist, and she called her Goldilocks. Goldilocks entered the bear's house. First, she tasted the 3 bears' porridge, but she really liked the little bear's porridge because it was just right for her, neither too cold nor too hot, so she ate it all the way up. After that, Goldilocks went into the bedroom and lay down on the big bear bed, onto the medium bear bed, and finally she went to the small bear bed and fell asleep soundly. Then the 3 bears wanted to go home for breakfast because they thought the porridge they made was cold. But when he arrived home, the big bear was surprised by his big voice and looked for his porridge. Then the medium bear was surprised that there wasn't any porridge, and the little bear knew that someone had eaten his porridge and other porridge. The little bear saw that there was a spoon in the porridge pan, but the porridge was finished. Then the 3 bears went up to their room, and the bear realized that someone had been lying on his bed. The little bear looked at his bed. It turned out that on his pillow there was a little girl with golden curly hair who was fast asleep. Then the little bear told him that there was someone lying and sleeping at his place, and he pointed to Goldilocks. Goldilocks immediately jumped out of bed and ran downstairs. She went out the door along the garden path, and she ran until she reached her grandmother's house. Then she told her grandmother about the 3 bears who lived in the forest. But her grandmother thought his imagination was very wild. Thank you.